Good afternoon and welcome to the Scaringi Law Lunch Break. This is your time of the day to learn a little bit about the law while you enjoy your lunch. And today we're going to talk about a recent Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision concerning Pennsylvania's election code. In Workers' Families Party v. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court upheld the constitutionality of Pennsylvania's ban on cross-nominations by political bodies, also known as the anti-fusion rule. The anti-fusion rule bans the process by which two or more political organizations place the same candidate on the ballot in a general election for the same office. Here are the facts. Christopher Robb ran in the Democratic Party general primary for the Pennsylvania State House of Representatives. After his Democratic general primary win, he filed nomination papers with the Department of State indicating his intention to run in the general election as a member of the Workers' Family Party of Pennsylvania. Thus, had his nomination papers been accepted, Mr. Robb would have been on the general election ballot under the listing Christopher Robb / Democratic Party / Working Families Party. However, the Department of State denied Mr. Robb's candidate affidavit for the Workers' Family Party because he had already been nominated by the Democratic Party in the general primary election and thus could not thereafter seek the nomination of any political body in the general election. In Pennsylvania, the Democratic Party is considered a political party and the Workers' Families Pennsylvania is considered a political body. And as a political body, the Workers' Families Party cannot use the general election to nominate candidates, the general primary election to nominate candidates. It must do so via petition. But that's a brief aside. In short, the Department of State maintained that Mr. Robb can only run as a member of the Democratic Party in the general election and not be permitted to cross-file as a Democrat and as a Working Families candidate in the general election. The department based its position on the section of the election code that prevents cross-nominations or the same candidate representing two different political entities on the same ballot. A purpose of the law is to prevent political bodies from party raiding, which the court defined as the organized switching of blocks of voters from one party to another in order to manipulate the outcome of the other party's primary election. The Workers' Families Party and Mr. Robb challenged the rejection of his nominating papers to the Commonwealth Court. They lost there and then appealed to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Mr. Robb claimed these sections of the Pennsylvania Election Code violate the anti-fusion rule in the election code, violates the Pennsylvania and U.S. constitutions in various ways. In short, Mr. Robb was arguing that the Workers' Families Party, as a minor political body, was treated unfairly compared with the major political parties. However, the anti-fusion rule applies to political parties as well as political bodies. In the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, Mr. Robb claimed the ban on cross-nomination by political bodies violates the Free and Equal Elections Clause of the Pennsylvania Constitution, the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution, the Free Speech and Association Clauses of the Pennsylvania Constitution as well. But as it would take too much time for me to explain the court's decision, to go through each of those claims and explain how and why the Supreme Court held in the manner in which it did, let's just leave it with the fact that the Supreme Court rejected all of those claims and denied Mr. Robb's appeal. Thus, the anti-fusion rule ban stays in effect in Pennsylvania. If you receive the nomination from a party in a general election, you cannot then run in the general election both as a member of that party and another political party or body for the same office. If you have any questions about election law or campaign finance law, give me a call at Scaringi Law at 717-657-7770. That's about all the time we have today for the Scaringi Law Lunch Break. I hope you learned a little bit about the law. Thanks for listening and enjoy your lunch.